You can spend months fixing your credit score, saving your money, and getting pre approved, but then ruin the entire deal in less than 24 hours. And the scary part is, most people don't even know that they're doing this. My name is Calvin Russell. I'm a certified FICO professional and a credit strategist. And listen, I've helped people increase their credit scores and lower their car payments along with qualifying for homeownership nationwide. And listen, if you want to know what might be holding your credit score back right now, scan the QR code right here on your screen or click the link in the description below to download my free credit guide today. So number one, don't open up new credit accounts, okay? Now, what some people do, they do things like buying washers and dryers, they start buying furniture. So listen, don't finance furniture before closing. Don't apply for new credit cards just to get points. Don't let dealerships run your credit. Every inquiry is going to matter during the mortgage process. And also, your debt to income ratio can change overnight. One new payment can reduce your buying power easily. So let me give you an example. Let's say, for example, someone gets pre-approved for $350,000. Then they finance a $4,000 furniture set. What's going to happen is your monthly payment is going to increase, which means your mortgage approval amount is going to be affected. It's more than likely going to drop. Now you no longer qualify for the home. Number two, don't miss or be late with payments. One late payment can hurt your credit score fast. Mortgage lenders recheck your credit score before you close on the house. Minimum payments still matter. Auto pay failures, they can happen more than people think, and even a "I forgot" can cost you the entire deal. So let me give you an example. Let's say that you have a 680 credit score and it drops just to the 650s. If you have a conventional loan, that interest rate is going to change, which means a higher monthly mortgage payment and then also thousands more paid over the life of the loan. Number three, don't move money around randomly. Large deposits can easily create underwriting issues. Cash deposits, however, they can become a paperwork issue as well too. Lenders want paper trails. Don't suddenly start moving your money between your bank accounts, even if they are both of your bank accounts. Don't borrow down payment money. I've seen people do this, especially without documentation. This is called a gift, by the way. So let me give you an example. Let's say that a relative sends you $5,000, whether you expected it or you didn't expect it. An underwriter is going to ask you for what they call an LOE, which is an explanation letter. They're going to need new bank statements again, and of course your closing may get delayed or you may not qualify at all. Number four, don't quit or change your jobs. Please don't do this. Income stability matters the most. So even if you switch from a W-2 to a 1099 or you have a commission-based job, that's going to require more history. And even if you get promoted at your job, sometimes that requires updated paperwork. So make sure that you talk to your lender before making any of these types of changes. So let me give you an example. Let's say that a buyer changes jobs 2 weeks before closing. Your lender's going to pause the file. Employment has to be re-verified all over again from the underwriting department. So closing might get pushed back or you might unfortunately get denied altogether. Number five, don't max out your credit cards. I know this sounds simple, but a lot of people mess this up. Utilization matters much more than people think. High balances can drop your credit score quickly. Some people use credit cards for moving expenses, and your mortgage scores are going to react heavily to high balances. Keep balances low during this process. So here's an example. Let's say that your credit card limit, and it could be really any number, but for this example, is $5,000. But then your balance jumps up to $4,500. Your score is going to drop because your utilization spikes. Your mortgage terms are going to change because, again, your utilization is too high and your score is going to be affected. Number six, do not co-sign for anyone. I don't care if it's family, I don't care who they are, okay? Mortgage lenders are going to count that new account against you. That means it's going to affect your DTI. So helping family accidentally can hurt your pre-approval or your approval altogether, especially if you co-sign right before closing. That's extremely risky. So for example, let's say a friend or a family member, they need help getting a car or an apartment, whatever. The buyer co-signs. Now that new auto loan is going to appear on your credit report, which means your debt to income ratio is going to jump too high. Now, here are some additional common mistakes that we don't see like as much as the other ones, but still these are some things that you know that you cannot do. So don't close old credit cards. Don't ignore collection calls. Don't make large unexplained purchases. If you start doing things like this, it's going to throw off the loan completely. For example, if you switch banks mid-process, so don't assume that pre-approved means a guaranteed approval. A pre-approval essentially means that if you don't change anything between the time that you get the pre-approval letter and the time that you are under contract and going under the underwriting process, as long as nothing changes from when you first got that pre-approval letter, you should be approved. So you need to understand that there is a difference also between a pre-approval and a clear to close. When you're clear to close, that means that you can actually go right into homeownership and the light is now green. Mortgage lenders, they monitor more than just your credit scores. They look at your behavior. They look at your overall risk. So let's go into something a little bit deeper. Why do mortgage lenders pull credit again before closing? This is called a credit refresh. And the reason why they do this is so they can look to see what's going on if you have, again, added new debt, or if you have essentially just changed something, in general, that it pertains to your credit score. So even if it wasn't something that you did purposely, it could be like a brand new debt, which is why I mentioned don't ignore collection phone calls, because if something new pops up on your credit while you're going through the process, your credit score may drop. Next, we're going to talk about trended data and your spending habits. So first, you need to understand that trended data is essentially what you've been doing in the last 60 to 90 days. And sometimes it may go back as far as about 6 months. So if you look like you are becoming more riskier by getting more personal loans, by swiping more of your credit cards, by using a good portion of the money that's in your checking account, all of that is going to matter. And so they're going to look at not just your trending data, but also your spending habits as well. So the next thing is why emotional spending is going to hurt buyers. Now, if you're a buyer, if you are looking to buy a home in the future, you have to know that you can't pretty much do much with your money. Now, don't get me wrong. If there is an emergency and your car goes out, you got to get a car because you got to get to work. So again, it's not that you can't do anything. It's just best that you don't do these things because you have to explain the process. But at the end of the day, as long as your overall debt to income hasn't changed much, then you're going to be fine. An example of this would be, let's say that you got an auto loan and it was $500 a month. But your previous auto loan, or here's a better way to say it. Let's say you got into a car accident, okay? But you survived, the car is good, all the rest. The car didn't work out. It got totaled out, right? So now that monthly payment was already $500 a month. So now you go through that whole process but you replace that auto loan with a brand new auto loan. Now I know what you're thinking. Well, Calvin, I got a brand new loan. I'm starting a new loan over. Obviously that's new debt added to my credit report. Those things matter, but what matters the most is going to be that new monthly payment. So as long as that new monthly payment is in line with what you were paying before, you're going to be just fine. And again, this kind of goes into the difference between preparing for an approval versus maintaining your approval. So when we're talking about maintaining an approval, we're essentially saying that, again, everything that essentially your profile, your income, your savings, all of those things matter just like they did at the very beginning. Is going to matter throughout the entire process. I remember seeing one client where they had $20,000 in their savings account, and then when it came down to closing, that was down to like $4,000. Again, you have to explain those types of things when majority of your money is moving around. This is why we like to say that patience is going to matter, especially during the final 30 to 60 days. So let me just break this down. Think of the mortgage process like a probation period. The bank is watching for consistency, okay? So big financial changes is going to create risk in the lender's eyes. Now, let me break this down another way as well too. If you want help, okay, understanding what's holding you back from home ownership or why your credit scores are not going in the right direction, this is what you need to do, because I want to make sure you know what your next move should be. You should go ahead and scan the QR code and schedule a credit qualification call. And this way we can let you know what works best for you and what services we can provide for you. And with that, I'll see you on the next video.